Hey guys, it's yours truly, Musicals here, and today I have a pretty important video for you all. I'm here with EasyEmily, and we have some pretty important information to talk to you about regarding Sea of Thieves, and maybe some problems you may or may not have been having with it lately if you've been having server issues.
Oh yes, new exclusive. Thank you for that. Hi guys, it's Easy Emily. You might have known me from earlier in the year. I know I'm not around too much, but I wanted to bring this up to Yin's attention, especially if you see these religiously, or if you're someone who likes stealing loot off people, especially in big halls like this. This pertains to mostly you. This is why, mostly due to there's been an exploit going around. So, if you already know about that and you're up to speed, you're fine. If you don't know, stick around. If you're not on Xbox or PC or Sea Thieves, you can click off. But that's who this is for. If you're just pertainingly Sea Thieves or someone who watches Sea Thieves. So, mostly, again, if that pertains to you, stick around. If you're someone who doesn't involve any of that, your lifestyle or whatever, you can kind of click off because that's who this is for.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so I'll be chiming in here and there, but Em's gonna do a little bit of mostly of the explaining since I have not touched the game in years. Well, actually months, I think. But mostly years. So yeah, I'll let Em take it away from here, and I'll chime in here and there with my thoughts as well.
Yes, so, thank you, Ms. Glue. So my thoughts right now, like I want you to picture something, whether you're captained or not, because season 7 update, season 8, and you're coming to an end, woohoo. Which, yes, I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to get this important exploit info out of the way first. So, imagine you hop into your game, and then, I'd say 10 nautical miles off, you're sailing away from your outpost, and you see this big loot haul, literally a whole square in front of you. You touch it. You interact with it. You take it back to your outpost. Not good. Not good. You're probably going to end up with a ban now the next morning. Why? That's the exploit. Because that's a chance that was pertaining to that. So, here's why. And this is why my big tip for everybody is just, if you're a bystander of someone doing veils, or you're someone who loves doing veils, and which you know what I mean, Legend of the Veils, which of course these clues will I'm sure link some kind of video of someone talking about what veils are, or I'll talk about it elsewhere if anyone gets curious. So, assuming everyone in here knows what veils are, since they have been in the game for quite a while now, my tips to you are to just for now, until this exploit gets fixed, to avoid it, or just avoid the loot that revolves around it, which also means, yes, worst case scenario, avoid the big loot hauls that you see streamers grabbing or someone else grabbing. Just avoid the temptation to grab those. Go on your own voyage, get your own loot, and take track of what you're actually carrying. It's that simple. Don't pirate right now. I know this is a pirate game. Everybody likes stealing each other's loot, but for right now, stick to your own loot. Don't steal anybody's. They're tracking this. Rare is actually tracking this. So do not go after someone else's loot right now. You're best off doing that, especially if it's Athena loot, or they got a loot hole that expands the entire ship. Don't go after it. Don't go after it. Avoid the temptation. Actual avoiding. meditate for a minute, close your eyes, whatever you gotta do, avoid it. It's not the best option right now. And I shared evidence with Muse Clues of what this exploit is. So if you can go ahead, put on the screen of what we're talking about here.
Sure.
I'll try to find it on my end too, but I think on Muse Clues you have it when I hand it over to you. What we're talking about here.
Yeah, 1 second. Emma, 1 second. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop out my window to the side here. I'm gonna minimize it so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, we're not going to go into explicit detail about what the exploit is and how to do it. We're just going to give you the key things about it and why it's so dangerous. Okay. Not only for you, but your crew, everyone around you, and the game itself.
Okay, so I have it up here right now. So why don't you go ahead and read it, Em?
I'm going to start off with the initial warning that made me go off about this in the first place. So this comes from the streamer Mixopix, and it reads, "Heads up, if you're using that Athena exploit to make gold, I was told they are tracking people abusing it and will be handed out with yellows and reds." Which, by the way, yellows and reds, everybody knows the beard codes by now, or at least I hope you do.
If you're new to the beard, real quick, if you're new to the beard codes, they're basically the version of error codes. So, timeouts, disconnects, all that type of stuff. Basically, that is what the beard code is. But yeah, continue. Sorry, I had to say that real quick.
I don't know what yellow is, but I know red. So red beard is what they mean by red, and yellow, which you can kind of guess. With red beard, what's going on? When you see that, that means someone is banned per account. Now, this is not per IP just yet. So when someone says yellow or red, that's what they mean. With yellow meaning temp ban, red meaning a permanent ban. So I know that that's not tossed around a whole lot, but that's how dangerous this is. Because sometimes, even outside of this, people are getting these yellows and reds on complete accident. But that's also why this is so important. Because if you're someone who, by accident, and this has happened, by the way, Muse Clues, within the last 48 hours, we have gotten reports of up to 20 people so far being affected by this anonymously without even being involved directly with the people doing the exploit. They've picked up the loot, took it to the outpost, turned it in, and they got banned in some shape or form.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, most bans are indeed tied to your Microsoft IP. So if you've done more than one cheating in more than one game, then shame on you, of course. But
like I said, Muse Clues, this is per account by CV so far. So no word about IP bans just yet. This is just per account.
Right, but if this continues, they might start dishing that out, so I'd be extremely, extremely, extremely careful of what you grab. Like Em said earlier, refuse the temptation to grab any other loot other than your own.
Yeah, so I'm going to go into a little bit. I will read this off in little iterations, this one screenshot. And this is by the Sea Thieves YouTuber Ghost Admiral, which is very popular around the Sea Thieves community. For those who don't know, he is a very valuable resource like Captain Falcor for that kind of information. We don't have links to him whatsoever, but I will say for myself that if you want to go see him, That's at your own time that you can do that. We're not going to directly link him here because obviously we want you guys to see this full thing of why it's so dangerous right now to not even do Athena veils or Athena loot other than your own, period. An exploit has been going around the community to do the Legend of Available voyages. For some, it has been very effective. And he said also that, like us, we're not going into expletive detail about the exploit, but he also confirms that they are actively tracking this, and that there's a huge difference of how they're tracking this. If it's only like one time, they'll give it a slide, but say it's, I don't know, 5-6 times, you might see yourself a ban. So really, again, I'm pointing this out. Pay attention to your own loot and not someone else's at this point, because you don't know where that loot even came from. Whether it could be a veil, whether it could be gold horse. If it is like gold horse and earth souls, that's your own risk if you take that loot by chance that is. But by the scale that veils are going right now, I'd say it's safe to say that you're better off just avoiding loot that's not even yours in the first place. If it's washed up on a beach or something, then yeah, go ahead, take it. But if it's like out in the water, like actual out in the water, in the middle of the server ocean, don't touch it. Don't touch it. If it's not yours, don't touch it.
Again, the ironic
and if you do touch it, that's at your own risk. So, visibly on Twitter, I'm not going to mention the user. This person, I don't know if he got directly or if it was by a friend of his, but he got banned from the emissary ledger, which I think falls into a yellow. I'm not too sure. But the gold that he did during that exploit that he received got removed. The cosmetics he got using that gold got removed. And he got banned from the emissary ledger permanently. So, again, when you touch this loot, when it's on the water, if it's part of some kind of veil and someone's exploiting, that's at your own risk that it might or might not be. So that's what I'm saying right now. Do not touch that loot unless it's your own or washed up on the beach.
Yes. Again, this is just for safety reasons. Like I said before, ironically, this is a private game, so not stealing other people's treasure is kind of going against the code a little bit. But for once, this isn't. This is unless of course if you've invested a lot of times into Sea of Thieves, trust me, it's not worth losing the whole account over. It really isn't.
Right. Now, as for when you're getting approached by other crews, I'm going to go into that a little bit so you know what to look out for, whether someone is doing the exploit or not. So, what the exploit involves is doing the veils, like I said, but then reusing the emissary flag for Athena. Again, I'm not going to give you exact steps or anything like that. This is not that kind of video. We're just telling you what a crew that's suspiciously doing this might do. Is recycling that emissary flag and other voyages to keep that cycle going. But basically what this is, it's a form of money duping, and this is actually similar to way back in the day, Music Clues, on Animal Crossing, where players would dupe crowns. They would bell dupe.
I have heard about that. That there is ways to do stuff like that inside the Animal Crossing series, so that does not surprise me. It's very similar to that, but unlike Animal Crossing, where you won't really receive a punishment, This is worse. A lot worse.
Right. So apparently, this is also related to another exploit that they patched out earlier involving the emissary flags themselves. But this time, this is why it's so dangerous when it's close, is because now it involves actual loot that is so very easily obtainable. So for anyone who is interacting with someone else on their crew and they suggest something along the lines of those things where they like, oh, let's use veil during an emissary flag recycle, and along those lines, just say no and either put them in the break or hop out and find new crew. If that's your own crew and your own game, because the side effects of this are the following: server instability, which means frame drops for literally everybody, which, by the way, they have brought back up to 6 shifts a server. So really pay attention. If you see frame drops anywhere, that means someone out there is mind duping. So it might be good, wise to turn that FPS and ping counter on. So if you're technical like me and you can spot those things, you know what's going on. The other thing is with this server instability, it can actually get to a degree where it can kick literally everybody out of the game and shut the server down. So that's how serious that is. And as I said before, the loot that spawns due to the integrity of this, if the person in question is successful, it actually spawns a fair lot to make this previous side effect I mentioned go into effect. Because it is actual, we won't show the video, but there is video proof that it spawns a good mile or half a nautical mile, if that. Anyway, as someone who's been at this for, 5 years since the game started, this myself, I wasn't personally interested at all in how far this would go. But again, due to those recent reports of people still actively participating in this and getting bans handed out to them, this is really dangerous. I don't know if Rare will go after this. But yes, it has been confirmed that Rare is on it, but there is no confirmed confirmation from Rare themselves if they plan to patch it out anytime soon.
That definitely sounds serious. And this goes back around to, as I call peer pressure. If someone's pressuring you to do something that you really don't want to do, I would highly advise jumping off, because trust me, it is not worth it. Especially if that person is. Now I know it's hard sometimes, especially if you're close with that person, and you don't want to say no. But in this case, if you value your time and your account, trust me, there's nothing worse than your account getting banned. And I know for a fact that Microsoft will do some things as well as do if they have to. I hope they don't resort to this, but if they have to, IP ban them from playing any other online game. I doubt they will do this, but if it does get out of hand to the point where they have to do that, then man, it's not worth it. You should just cut contact with that person and just not interact with them. Now, granted, if you run across a stranger that invites you into your crew, that's a totally different barrel of fish. I would say in this case, the don't trust strangers rule applies here for now.
Yes. So, also the term of Alliance server crosses that line as well, Musiclus, where, of course, Alliance servers out in the wild already stress these servers out to basically their limits, going 18, 20, 48 hours at a time. So even that can get easily confused, whether someone in that server is doing that exploit. Again, go at your own risk. That is pretty much the thing, even with those kinds of servers going on, that you gotta avoid. So even avoid those things outright. If you're someone who is hard tied to a LAN server, then go ahead, cut contact. You're not gonna get a very good trust level with them if this continues. That's basically also another thing I want to point out is if you really want to go the extra lengths, just ensure who you have contact with, and if they know about the exploit, if they know about the bans, and that they trust you not to do it, they are knowingly know that you trust them not to do it. Sign an ink or something. Like, have some kind of contact between you and that person that nobody's going to do anything shady. So, again, as means close said, stranger danger, or, of course, if this is someone close, just have visual confirmation or, text, video, something that says that they agree that they're going to avoid all that and they'll take these measures seriously to the extent that for their account and yours, they're not going to do such thing.
Exactly, because it's not worth it, man. One exploit in an online game is not worth all the digital purchases that you've made on your account, especially in the nowadays age where most digital purchases really are tied to an account. You're better off really not doing exploits like this.
Unless it's like a shipwreck or something, then just upright avoid it right now, because until we get actual word of mouth from Reddit themselves that they fix this, you need to really buckle down and take these tips and safety of your account, the accounts of your crewmates if you're dealing with anybody, and the accounts of everyone that's basically on the server, no matter how many ships it is. And I don't care if the diving toy, I'm talking about the Reaper's box on the server that spawns on the map. I don't care if it's red or gold. You take this responsibility of protecting you and those other folks on your server by just upright avoiding them, their loot. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Avoid strangers' loot. All I'm saying, buddy, don't steal, don't do anything unless you know for sure it's something that's spawned by the game itself and not another player.
Exactly. Now, of course, we can't stop everybody. Even if you do watch this video and still think that you'll be fine, but don't come crying to either of us in saying that that M did not warn you about this. She's taking time out of her day to even record this video. That's how urgent this is.
I really want you guys to take my word of mouth here. Take it home with you wherever. Write it down. I hope you write it down on a piece of notepaper or something too, because this is that important. We are not playing around. This can literally kill your CP's account.
Now, of course, there is a good chance that since Rare is tracking this, they are trying to work on something to patch this game. But knowing how online games work, that could we don't know exactly how long. It could be weeks. It could be months. It could even be the next day they patch this. I would just be wise. Now, of course, if you've been out of the loop and haven't been playing Sea of Thieves and just stumbled across this video, then just ignore everything we said. This doesn't pertain to you unless you were planning on diving back into Sea of Thieves. In that case, take this as a word of warning. This may not be the best time to dive back into the game if you haven't played in ages.
If you're someone who doesn't play Sea of Thieves right now, I would say stay out until they patch this. But especially if you're someone who, with a passion, goes for Veils, and you don't want to get mistakenly banned, just don't go for the veils at all. Don't go for the veils.
Yeah, just not until they get this fixed. Like
right. Yeah, don't raise your Athena emissary or go for Athena's. Don't touch either of those things, because next day, this could lead to a possible mistake ban, because as I said earlier, people got banned on accident, and Rare is not willing to reverse those. Don't do Athena emissary. Stay under that radar and go for another emissary if you really want to do an emissary. And don't do veils. Just outright avoid veils.
Indeed. Again, thank you, Em, so much. So my closing thoughts to all this. If you are a newbie to Sea of Thieves, I am so sorry that this is going to affect your time. Sea of Thieves is a wonderful game to dive into, and Em has told me that it is 10 times more worth it than ever before prior to this. That it's been more worth to dive in, but this thing is gonna kill your experience. So I apologize to all newbies who are watching this video right now and are just like, did I just choose a bad time? It's not your fault. This stuff happens. I think this is the first time it's really been a big exploit for Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, if you want to rewind, take notes of what to do to secure yourself, that's fine. Grab a piece of notepaper or something, because, again, as Musicalus is basically calling it, and I'm basically calling it, it's a major exploit involving loot as a whole. So, be careful.
Indeed. To all the longtime fans now just diving back into Sea of Thieves, yeah, some things never change, unfortunately. This isn't the first time Sea of Thieves has occurred some kind of well, I won't say drama, but let's just say some kind of problem. Bad timing for you to jump back into the game as well. But hey, it could have been worse. Worse, like I said. I have a feeling we'll get back on top of it. And for those who are doing the exploit, shame on you, man. Man, it's not...
Yeah, shame on you. Rare's coming after you.
Yeah, man. Here's a question for you. Is it really worth all that virtual glitter and gold for your account just to get all those virtual things rather than just have fun with your friends? Friends, answer me that.
Right. Yeah, with this exploit, people have been getting 1 million gold per hour. So, with that again, that's why people have been doing it. It actually started with only a few people, but even how with quickly this spread, this is really just a big shame.
It really is a big shame. Some people will go as far as to do that just so they don't have to worry about anything else in the game. Worry about getting the favorite cosmetics or something in the game. Trust me, man. I don't like working either, and Sea of Thieves sometimes makes it hard. But I gotta tell you that the payoff of working hard is a lot more worth it sometimes.
Especially the people who don't like those Gucci sales. And you know I mean the Dark Adventure sales.
It may be a tedious grind, but it is worth it, man. It is worth it. The memories you make with your friends is a lot more worth it than just going straight to the top.
Yeah, so to those of you that stayed to the end, thank you. I know that I'm the only one who's the major expert out of the two of us here. But Musicalus here, he... of course, at one point, we'll probably dive back in just to have an eye on it. I, of course, myself, I have my own Discord server and everything to occasionally dive in, but as of right now, I'm going to be a lot like you guys who play this game, at least some kind of religion this way, just go at your own risk when you grab loot.
That's basically the general gist of this whole thing, yeah. So, a word of advice: just be careful out there, folks. Folks, to all the innocent folks who are doing this and are doing their best to stay safe, good job and keep up the good work. To all those people who are doing the exploit, I hope it was worth it, man. I really hope it was worth it. Because, hey, in the end, if it was, okay, as I always say, virtual currency versus real currency. If you've invested time into Sea of Thieves, the virtual currency is way less worth it than the actual currency you did to spend in the game. And reminder, you have to pay to play Sea of Thieves in the first place unless you're using Xbox Game Pass. So just, yeah, think about that as well. But for those who stayed to the end, we appreciate it. Thank you for watching. So this one is straight up on my channel. So if you guys want to, chat, I will link any comments that I see that I can answer that she can. But yeah, all right, guys, that is pretty much it.
Yeah, I do want to mention one other thing to those of you out there. I'm talking to you that have offensive chip names. Stop it. Really stop it. I was selling with a friend and saw one that really offended me. Stop it.
Yeah. But yeah, that is all for now. We will see you guys later. And this is yours truly, Music Clues.
And Emily signing off.
Have a nice gaming day, y'all. And stay safe out. And see you on the seas, Sea of Thieves fans.
Yep, stay safe. Hey guys, this is Emily recording posts. I just want to let you all know that Sea of Thieves has responded in a form of an update as of this edited recording that I'm inserting at the end here real quick. They have taken out the shipwreck part of the Athena Veil, so it might be safe to go out on the water skin, but if you rewind the video and take a look at our safety tips that we have, I still recommend that you very much take into account the tips I will give you. So, yeah, thanks again for watching till the end, and have a nice voyage if you're still sailing.